Hello, Rivermen and SPHL fans, and as always, thank you for watching the video. It is much appreciated. This video preview is brought to you by the Bay Leaf Indian Restaurant and Bar in the greater Peoria area downtown. #1 Indian bar in the Peoria area. Great food, great atmosphere, and great service. So please go check it out and tell them Wade sent you. In this video, I'm going to preview two matchups, two really good matchups, in my opinion. We got the Huntsville Havoc visiting the Evansville Thunderbolts, and we got the Quad City Storm visiting the Peoria Rivermen. We're going to start with the Havoc and Bolts game, and Havoc are 5-1 on the season. It's good enough for first place. 6 games played on the season. Thunderbolts are 4-2. That's good for second place. And also have 6 games played on the season. These two teams have played each other this season one time. That was a Havoc win, 6-2. And I believe it even was in Evansville, if I'm not mistaken. Last season, Havoc went 6-3 versus the Thunderbolts as well. So, Havoc had a 4-game win streak that was ended in Quad City in a back-and-forth matchup on the road versus Storm that ended in their first loss of the season. They have 25 goals for, which is most in the league, and 15 goals against. They are 5 for 15 on the power play, which is a 33.33% success rate, and 3 of 15 on the penalty kill at an 80% success rate. Now, unfortunately, I didn't write this down. I should pause the video and go check the exact number, but I know for a fact Havoc had the most penalty minutes of any team in the league thus far, and I know no one's caught up to that yet because they at the time I checked, which was like a game or two ago, they were at 130 penalty minutes, and the closest team to them had 86 penalty minutes. So, I know for a fact Havoc still have the most penalty minutes in the league. I just don't have the exact number in front of me, unfortunately, which is kind of a surprise to me. I knew Havoc would probably be more of a physical team this year, but I didn't think they would rack up the penalty minutes as they have this year. Havoc's looked great all year. Even in that loss versus Quad City Storm, people might say it was a bad loss. In my opinion, it really wasn't. They never quit in that game. Yes, they had some mistakes, some mental errors made that allowed Quad City to stay in that game and win it. But they were always in the game. So many lead changes, never gave up, and just lost it right there at the end. Quad City was able to get that victory over them. Can't win them all. Nobody's going to go undefeated for the entire season. So Havoc has been a very strong team and has played the most consistent, in my opinion, than any other SPHL team for sure. Players to watch for, Austin Alger. He's got 7 goals, which leads the league right now. So he's always a player to watch out for. Josh Kessner and Matt Allen are 2 other ones to really watch out for. And I've kind of highlighted Giovanni Procopio. I think he needs to get going a bit and net his first goal on the season. I think that would help out tremendously if he can get going as well and take some pressure off players like Austin Alger. Let's see, their power play. Oh, wait, I already gave you their special teams numbers. They've been having a way better season on special teams. I think, than last year. I think they look good on special teams. My keys to the game for Havoc is to keep firing pucks on net. They're having so much success just firing the puck. They're not trying to do anything fancy. They're just putting pucks on net in bunches and being successful in that manner. So I look for that to continue. Put traffic in front of Kristen Stead or Brendan Browley, who's ever starting, most likely Stead, and get to the rebounds and put back rebound opportunities. I would say clean up a little bit on taking penalties. Don't take as many. Stay off the PK as much as you can. And really just take advantage of 5-on-5 play against Thunderbolts. On the Bolts side of thing, their last loss of the season came by way of Havoc in that 6-2 loss. Since then, they've won 2 straight by sweeping the Peoria Rivermen, and admittedly looking good doing so. They really played a strong game and executed very well. They did what they wanted to do against Peoria and won 2 games against them. Just plain and simple, they outworked and outplayed the Rivermen and earned 2 wins. So I'm sure they look for that to continue against another top team in Huntsville, Havoc. They want to avenge that loss that they had against Havoc. And, Havoc coming off a loss against, Quad City Storms might be a little vulnerable. I guess we'll find out. Now, the special teams numbers. Oh, and they're even 16 goals for, 16 goals against. So they're even on that front. You got to like the goals for if you're Thunderbolts. At times they've struggled to score goals. They've done well in this department this season, scoring goals. Like to see them give up a little less goals against, but I think they're doing a good job at scoring goals for themselves. Players to watch, Jordan Semino. I highlighted him first. He's been having a great season. I think he's off to a better start than last season. He's getting on the point sheet, and he's helps police the game for his team. He is an enforcer. He can fight, and he's going to finish his checks. But you can't just look at him as a goon. This dude is a good player all around, and he's showing that this year. Scott Curitan has always been a mainstay on this team, a veteran leader, and you'll always see him pop up on the point sheet. Miles Abbott has been playing great hockey for him, and I think Aiden Lidicky needs to get going for Evansville Thunderbolts. I think he can really help put them in a good position and help them be successful if he can start getting going himself. Keys to the game, play a physical matchup against the Havoc. Bait the Havoc into taking undisciplined penalties and have a good special teams. Capitalize on those power play opportunities and kill off any penalties that you might give up yourself. And also protect the house. Protect Kristen Stead or Brendan Browley, who's ever starting, and make sure it's an easy night for them. It's I don't know. This is a hard game to pick because you think it's easy to pick Havoc in this one, but the way Thunderbolts are playing, they are playing with confidence and they are executing well. So I think this is going to be a closer game. I still think Havoc will win this one 4-2, maybe 5-3, something in that. But I'm really not trying to disrespect Thunderbolts. It's just Havoc is playing great right now and the most consistent hockey than anyone. They're going to be tough to beat right now. Not saying they're unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. But this is the hardest team to beat in the league right now is Huntsville Havoc. So they will have their hands full. So I am going to go with Havoc for the win. And now we're going to move on to Quad City Storm visiting the Peoria Rivermen. Quad City Storm has always had a tough time playing in Peoria, but they've definitely got their wins in Peoria as well. So, let's see. The Rivermen, or the Storm, my fault. The Storm are 2-3 on the year. 5 games played. They're sitting in 8th place right now. Rivermen are 3-2, sitting in 4th place with 5 games played as well. Storm has started 0-2 on the season with pretty bad losses to Rivermen and Thunderbolts, but since then have been 2-1, beating Havoc in the last game played. Goals for, 14. Goals against, 17. That's always been a problem for Storm, is giving up too many goals. And they, again, have more goals against than goals scored. On the power play, they are 2 for 12 for the success rate of 16.67%. And on the penalty kill, they are 5 of 15 for 66.67 success rate. Players to watch for, as always, Leaf Matson has a hat trick on the year as well. Devin Sanders and Tommy Seacoast, kind of some keys to the game. I've always said this. I said this a bunch last year. Sounds like I'm going to say it a bunch this year. 2 most important things for Quad City Storm is their special teams and team defense. If they can ever get that together and be more consistent in those 2 areas, they are going to be a much better team than people give credit. Because this team can score goals. They have players that can put the puck in the net. Their problem is on the special teams. I would think they would have better power play numbers than what they have, you know, with a few more goals, with the talent they have. But they got a penalty kill number that I would expect. 5 goals let in 15 attempts, and allowing 17 goals on the year. They really need to correct that and be more consistent in those areas to have consistent success in this league. And have solid goaltending from both their goalies, who's ever in net. That's pretty much always going to be like the main keys for Storm, because they can score goals. They're an athletic team, a fast team. They can make good passes and can outskate some teams, but they just make those mental mistakes. They turn the puck over a lot. They get caught cheating a lot, which allows a fast break the other way. They just get caught being lazy on team defense and, give up too many goals on the penalty kill. So they got to clean that up, especially against a team like the Rivermen. Now, the Rivermen, on the other hand, they started out 3-0 and hot. Looked good. And the only time they didn't look good in a win was their last game against Fayetteville, when Fayetteville outplayed them for probably at least 50 minutes of that 60 minutes. And Rivermen found a way to win in overtime. They did not look that great against Thunderbolts. The only player I thought looked really, really good and consistent was Jack Boston. I thought he had an outstanding weekend. Unfortunately, Rivermen couldn't give him a W, but I thought Boston looked great this weekend. Other than that, there was definitely some issues, especially on the power play. Rivermen started out on the power play red hot against Marksmen and Quad Cities, and didn't do nothing on the power play against Thunderbolts. They are 4 for 15 on the power play, 26.67%, and 2 of 18 on the penalty kill, good at 88%. Rivermen has always been a great penalty killing team and a great special teams as well. So I want that to continue and pick up against the Quad City Storms. Players to watch for: Alec Bear's been having a great season, but kind of tailed off in that series in Evansville. I'd like to see Mike McChesney pick it back up. We're going to need him. He's going to have to be a leading point getter on this team for us to be successful. Braden Barker and Griffin Fox, I also have highlighted. Keys to the game, get back to scoring on the power play. Quad City Storm is definitely going to give Rivermen some power play opportunities, and they got to cash in. Also, be more physical out there. Rivermen haven't really had their typical physical game with them this year. They've been low on the penalty minutes. I don't know if they still are, but before the Thunderbolts series, they had the least amount of penalty minutes in the league. They've really toned down their physical game, and to tell you the truth, I don't like it. I want to see them pick that back up. They need to play physical. That's always been a Rivermen staple. So I'd like to see them more physical and better passing. Their passing in Evansville was atrocious. It was horrible in Evansville. It was so much better in the first 3 games. In Evansville, they didn't know where that puck was going half the time. So they've got to clean that up, because that leads to turnovers and odd man rushes and puts our goaltending in bad positions. So they need to clean that up, and I think they will get back on track against the Quad City Storm and win 4-1, something like that. I do think we'll have a good game against the Quad City Storm. So that's my preview for the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys at the next puck drop, and always keep it Rivermen style.